of mass shootings reached a new high this year in the United States. Two of the most deadly crimes happened here in Texas, the shootings in El Paso and Midland-Odessa. Now, state lawmakers are looking for tools to prevent future mass shootings, and they're turning to the private tech sector, including your favorite social platforms. Wes Rappaport brings us details from the state capitol.
There's no villain in any of this. We're just trying to figure out how to make this work.
The head of the Texas Department of Public Safety says the state needs help keeping Texans safe from another mass attack.
One is too many.
What we don't know.
Yeah, what we don't know. We don't want another.
State lawmakers are looking for potential allies in tech and social media companies.
Facebook employs more than 35,000 people across the globe focused on safety and security.
Representatives from Google, Facebook, and Microsoft testified about their role and their reach.
From January through June of this year, there was 50,000 law enforcement requests received here in the United States. And over 3,000 of those requests were submitted as emergency requests.
The private sector is where the expertise lies.
Other avenues to explore, tech companies like Mutual Link. It's got a contract with DPS to help with communications during emergency response.
We're there to make the response faster and to be more complete and to save lives. It's a fairly simple mission, but it takes a lot of work to do.
Another of Mutual Link's clients is Texas City ISD.
We leverage technology to our advantage.
And we're joined now by Mr. Wes Rappaport, who was at that meeting. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Mr. Phil.
So Facebook, Twitter, Google, they have so much information on all of us. I'm sure, police departments, law enforcement want access to all that data to find out who could be committing these crimes and when, kind of before it happens.
Yeah.
What are the companies' perspective on this? I mean, do you think that they're going to let law enforcement in and have access to everybody's data?
Well, from what we've seen, they are doing that to a certain degree. There are teams dedicated at all of these big tech companies to working with law enforcement, and they receive thousands of requests from law enforcement every year, and they process them all, as they were saying in this hearing, in accordance with the law. So they're not going to go out of their way to give you any extra information if you're a law enforcement agency, but they will give you what they are required to give you. And in certain cases, depending on the nature of the emergency, some of those get bumped up to the top based on priority and things.
Do the state lawmakers have the access that they would like, or do they want more information from these companies?
I think they want more information from these companies. I mean, the companies were forthcoming to a certain degree at these hearings, but there was certainly more to be desired. We heard from both Republicans and Democrats in this hearing specifically saying, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that we're having these conversations, because that hasn't always been the case, both at the national and at the state level. But it's going to be, a work in progress in terms of getting some of these companies to be more forthcoming about some of the information that they're being asked about.
And do you think that it will turn into reality, after we go into the next legislative session? Do you think there will be some type of law that would make the companies give the state more information? Well,
you'd have to think that that's going to be in the works at some point. You've got to think that there will be legislation that will tackle that. I think one of the keys to this is going to be how it's utilized. What can you do in terms of addressing the privacy, because there are security and privacy concerns that these companies, they have the right to a certain amount of privacy as well in protecting the information for you, the consumer.
Do you think that lawmakers believe this is a solvable problem? Because we were just talking about this last session after other mass shootings. Is there any sign that this will be different this next time?
That's a good question. I'm not sure that we'll see that. I think that there is the idea that they can solve pieces of it, and I think that if they can solve pieces of it, then that's a step forward. You'd rather get to a certain point than nowhere at all. Will they get all the way to fixing this entire problem? I'm not sure. But I think that if they can, for public safety and for the community's sake, or for just political points, I mean, you got to get somewhere. And I think they know that. And if they don't act and if they don't do something, then you know that it falls on their shoulders if something happens again.
Mr. Wes Rappaport, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Police believe he shot and killed 6 people and wounded another at this posh Dallas nightclub.
The 35-year-old gunman smashed his truck through the front windows of the cafeteria.
I saw the man eye to eye.
We have children over here.
Fort Worth's Wedgwood Baptist Church was packed with mostly teenagers.
Pulled the trigger and it hit me in the chest.
A firestorm of bullets rained down on dozens of soldiers. At least 13 were killed.
You don't expect it here. You don't.
The lone survivor of the massacre that killed her parents and 4 siblings.
I'm really thankful for all of the people that have been praying for me.
Reaction tells the story of the chaos and horrific scene that unfolds as the gunshots start exploding.
We have an active shooter with a high-power rifle. Get back! Back!
The suspects fired on police, shooting some in the back in what has been called an ambush-style attack.
I was walking, and the sniper just started shooting. Man, like all of the cops were getting shot, man. I just saw cops bending over.
The sanctuary, now a memorial for all the lives lost. Each chair sits where a member of this congregation was found.
You can't fight hate with hate. You gotta fight it with love.
21 people shot, among them a 17-month-old toddler and 3 police officers.
Isn't this worth all of our efforts?